I think that one of the most important things for me is creating this idea of fun. And a lot of times when people talk about fun, they're like, oh, that is not important. How does that help you achieve your goal? And what I've discovered is that when you make things fun, you actually make things really interesting. And so one of the great examples I have is when you have a meeting, what do you think the point of a meeting is? Is the point of a meeting to go through all your agenda items? That's probably what people will say is a typical, goal of a meeting, is to get through all those agenda items. For me, the goal of a meeting is actually to get everyone to come back for my next meeting, right? Because that's the most important thing. If people are dreading coming into a meeting, that's not helpful for anything. So what you want to do is make sure that people are really excited to come back to your meetings. And for me, that means making everything fun. And that doesn't mean wasting time, but that means building relationships. That means networking. And the only way to do that is for people to be themselves. So, one of the best stories I have is, when we did our meetings, we actually tried to create an icebreaker before everything we did. It could be literally a pop quiz where everyone would split up in teams and they would do a random pop quiz, or they would actually have to do a game where we would take everyone's faces and then mismatch them, and then everyone would have to guess each other's faces based on one ear, one eye, one nose, and to guess whose nose was that. And so what this did was create this environment where people were thinking about, oh, do I really know Bob? I think that's his ear. Or do I really know Betty? I think that's her mouth, but not really sure because you haven't really looked that closely. But now you're thinking about these things. But that's just an example, right, of ways in which you can actually create this environment which is fun, but still get a lot of things done. And so I would only say that, one of the things in inspiring diversity and, elevating leadership is that there are ways to do this which makes a lot of sense for a lot of people and to make it interesting. Because what you don't want to do is have this conversation about diversity and make it boring. What you don't want to do is talk about leadership and have it be sort of a curriculum. What you want to do is literally make it something that people want to come to, make it something that people want to come back to. And, I would say that make it fun. Have fun doing it. It's got to be something that, that people want to come back to in order for this conversation to continue.